Friends, I am Yogarajah Atchuthan, Assistant Lecturer in English attached to AT Vavaniya. We are in the section of Informative and Expository Writing, Part 3. In earlier sessions, in Part 1 and Part 2, you have studied the nature and the functions of informative and expository writing. Though you have studied them in detail, we will recall them in this lesson as well. The writings will be organized into paragraph. The points in these types of writings are organized into paragraph. The writings will have reasons and details to support the arguments. The writing will have facts and opinions as well. There will be examples given by the writer to justify his or her arguments. The writing will educate the reader by imparting new informations. Also, the writer, through these types of writing, will communicate his or her experiences. So these are common characteristics of these types of writings. These types of writings, though they are not the same, they share these characteristics in it. Now we will study the differences of these types of writings in terms of structure, the ways of delivery, and the applications of opinions. First, we will look at expository writing. It imparts informations. The writer shares ideas and provides explanations and evidence to the readers. In this type of writing, the writer assumes the reader who does not know anything. Thus, the writer gives all the information in this writing. We can take magazine, newspaper articles, textbooks, autobiographies, and persuasive essays as examples for these types of writing. It is mainly intended to persuade the reader. The writer will persuade the reader in this type of writing. This type of writing contains a thesis statement in the introduction paragraph. The writing has 3 sections: introduction, body, and conclusion. In the introduction paragraph, the writer will use a thesis statement to show his stance. Also, the expository writing will consist of certain creative writing aspects. Next, we will see the informative writing. The informative writing educates the readers by imparting straightforward information and facts. It does not reveal personal opinions of the writers. Example for these types of writing can be seen in course description, process descriptions, etc. It is not intended to persuade the reader, but this type of writings educate the audience or the reader. Though thesis statement is not a compulsory part in this type of writing, in some text the writer employ these statements depending on the types of text. It is mainly supported by facts and statistics. Thus, this type of writing becomes instructional and educational. However, the both types are used to impart knowledge, though the contents of the text vary based on the purpose or the intention of the writers. It is the similarity of this text. Structure of expository writing. There are three sections: introduction, body, conclusion. Introduction and conclusion parts are written using one paragraph, whereas body part of this type of writing is written in more than 2 paragraphs depending on the needs of the writer. Introduction paragraph. Usually, there are 3 sentences in introduction paragraph. The first sentence serves to paraphrase the title. The second sentence serves to show the thesis statements, your important arguments or your stance. In third sentence, the writer gives the outline of the article. We will have some example paragraphs. Who destroys the environment? Body paragraph. Some people cut the trees carelessly for their construction purposes in the northern province Sri Lanka nowadays. It poses severe problem to our planet Earth. Especially, it increases the temperature dangerously without our knowledge in this earth today. As a result, people could not live healthily with their children for many days. Therefore, we should take necessary steps immediately with much concern to protect our planet from these harmful effects in future. On the other hand, many governments have initiated several projects successfully with immediate effects to ban illegal practices. It will bring many changes in people thoughts and attitudes soon. In the previous paragraphs, under the title Who Destroys the Environment, you can see the opinion of the writer. Also, you can see how paragraphs are organized and how points are organized into paragraph. For example, if you take one paragraph, first the writer writes the topic sentence or the cause of the problem. First, the writer writes the topic sentence. Secondly, the writer brings out the effect of the topic sentence. Then, one example is given for the effect. The writer writes a paragraph with evidence and facts. Finally, in a paragraph, a writer includes future actions to be taken, future steps which are suggested to overcome the problems. Now we will see another paragraph for the title, maybe Sri Lanka, Sri Lankan people, Sri Lankan economy, Sri Lankan job market. You can have alternative titles and you can see how points are organized into a paragraph. Sri Lanka exports tea with high quality to many foreign countries from the upcountry side every year. It has created many employments or job opportunities with a handsome salary to many young men and women today. For example, we see many people working hard with large bamboo baskets in order to carry out their daily works near the tea estates when we visit Nuvarelia with my parents. Moreover, according to the annual reports, it generates sufficient income to Sri Lankans today. Therefore, it is our duty to regularize this sector with technological advancements in order to increase these benefits to the people in our country in a short period of time. It is a sample paragraph. Of the body parts for the title Sri Lankan People, or for the alternative titles Sri Lanka, Sri Lankan Economy, or Sri Lankan Job Market. Linking words. Now we will study the words or the devices that we can use to write effective paragraphs. The words include for summarizing, generalization, concession, order, result, illustration, etc. We can have the word to summarize, the words such as in conclusion, in brief, when we are writing or when we are summarizing any points. The words such as in general, generally are used to show the generalization. However, though, firstly, finally, previously, these words are used to show the order of the points or your arguments in an essay or in a paragraph. If you want to show the results of something, or if you want to show the result of your previous action, you can use the words such as therefore, as a result, thus, and hence. Using these words, you can write the results. When you use these words, the readers have a signal that the writer is going to give the results of something. When you justify something with evidence, you can give examples in your text, in your writing. For that, you can use certain signal words. For example, For instance, are two words or phrases that you can use for the purpose. If you want to express your opinions, you can use the words frankly speaking, in my opinion, to be honest, at the beginning of your sentences. That will show your opinions on certain things. When you write the conditional sentences, you can use if, in case, unless to show your conditional situations. When you compare two or more objects or problems, you can use the words such as similarly, compared to at the beginning of the sentences, as I have written in the sample paragraphs. You can recall the sample paragraphs to see how these words are used. To emphasize, you can use the words such as obviously, definitely, particularly, undoubtedly, without a doubt, and indeed, to make your writing more meaningful and effective. When you are adding something, for example, if there are two or more effects, you can use the words furthermore, moreover, beyond that, additionally, in addition, besides, not only, but also, to have some link in between those two sentences. In that way, you follow a uniformity and your ideas are not broken. They have an order. For the reader, it is meaningful and understandable. If you want to contrast any phenomenon in your writing, you can use, on the other hand, in contrast to, whereas, contrary to, other than, and by contrast, necessarily. According to your purpose and the types of your sentences, you can use those words. It will give more meaning and it will be clear for the audience and the readers. Now we will read some sample writings and we will see how the writer communicates his ideas to his readers. I thank Southeastern University, University of Jaffna, as I cite and read the articles from their sites. First, we will have an article on students' perspectives. We will have one more sample writing, a report on research, courtesy for University of Kelaniya. The research report is on internalizing English tenses. The title, a case study on the effectiveness of oral approach in internalizing the English tenses. I will read the abstract of this research. Writing sentences without making mistakes in the application. We will read another sample writing, which is on increasing pass rate of students in English language at ordinary level examination. Let's look at the sentence. Let's read two more articles. The first article is on a teacher training written for the conference organized by the University of Kelaniya. See how the sentences are formed, how the writer communicate academically. It has been written to show the perceptions of Sri Lankan Buddhists. In this essay, you can read, you can access the article, and you can read how the essay has been structured, how this report has been structured, how this research article has been structured, how the writer expresses his opinions, whether it is personal or with facts and evidence. When you read the article, you can understand how the writers communicates their ideas, what sort of evidences are given, and using which words they communicate and give the evidences. We are about to summarize this session. We have studied that arrangements of paragraphs are important. When we arrange the paragraphs in an order, that contributes for the effective way of achieving the goal of the writer. How points are organized into paragraph, functions of specific words for linking the words and the ideas of the writer, the words, the usage of the specific words contribute to a continuous reference and attachment with the text. The construction of the sentences, how sentences are constructed, the appropriate usage of language, how it varies text to text depending on the intention and the audience. We are about to wind up this session. I strongly recommend to read the writing which I cited in this session for further understanding. When you read the writings which I cited, you will have further understanding of various structures, different ways of delivery, various application of language. Also, I recommend that you have to do adequate practice to shape your writing further. Good luck. Stay safe.